I'm here to talk to you today about RCSLT professional networks and communities. So professional networks, from giving voice societies while you're at university all the way through to hubs and sends, research champions, clinical academic mentors, RCSLT advisors and leadership mentors. All of these groups are here to help you throughout your career, both to finish out your career as a student and to start as an NQP. As a student at university, you're surrounded by great support networks. You know, you're at university, you have your lecturers, you have your friends, you have your cohort. But as an NQP, you might find that you have to work just that little bit harder in order to be a little more active in order to make those sort of professional connections. You can definitely start by using social media. It's a great way to have a look at any potential employers. You know, you can check out their Facebook page or their Twitter handle, and it'll really help you to sort of navigate the vibe for any potential employers, because you want to make sure that you fit in, you as your personality, not just your clinical skills. Obviously, your clinical skills are incredibly important no matter what job you go into, but you want to make sure that you find yourself a team that is really supportive, that sort of fits in with your ethics and your values, and where you really feel part of the team. Social media is a great way to do that. Loads of employers, loads of services have their own Twitter handles these days, Instagram handles, Facebook pages. Go check it out. It'll also help you to make sure that you tailor your job application appropriately when it comes to applying for those particular areas. At university, you have networks available for you. You might have your Giving Voice or your SLT society, and there you can go for both professional support as well as for social support. The RCSLT has a whole range of professional networks available to you. We have hubs and sends. So hubs are geographic groups of speech and language therapists, and sends are groups of speech and language therapists interested in either a particular clinical area or a clinical specialty, or it's sort of an area of interest. So there's a homelessness send, for example. There's also dysphagia send, and there's mainstream school sends, and there's all kinds of different things. And I would encourage you to go to the RCSLT website to go and check that out. Hubs are geographic networks, like I mentioned. We have 14 hubs across the UK. These are going to be really useful to you, particularly if you're thinking about like moving away from your university area in order to get a job. In previous student days, we've had a couple of NQPs who have said you can either be picky about the clinical area or the location, but not both. And I think that was some really great advice. Depending on what it is that you want, you know, maybe you really have that dream job in mind, you know what clinical area you want to go to, you really might want to consider moving if that is the case. Thankfully, there are local hubs available to you. You can go and join your local hub, meet up with speech language therapists from the local region. You could get in touch with them before you move to maybe find out a little bit more about the area, a little bit more about what you might be doing while you're there. And similar for sends, as a matter of fact, if you've decided, nope, I definitely want to live in this particular area, then you can go and check out all of the clinical excellence networks available and say, oh, you know, if I'm definitely going to said area of the UK, what jobs might be available. Maybe you haven't had a placement in that particular clinical area, which is totally fine. You can go and join the local send, sort of brush up on your clinical skills, maybe meet those people who might be interviewing you, as a matter of fact. But go meet people, find out. All of our sends have, if they charge for their send events, they offer special student prices, and they all encourage students to come and join. As you sort of carry on through your career, we also have networks available such as research networks. We have research champions for those interested in research. We have clinical academic mentors for if you want to start down maybe a more researchy, more clinical academic pathway in your career. And then as you carry on, we have things like advisors and leadership mentors. As your career progresses and you need more specialist help and guidance, you can get in touch with us at the RCSLT, and we can certainly help to put you in touch with real experts in their various clinical areas. Making personal and professional connections isn't just good for your career, though. It's good for your mental health and well-being. It's good for building resilience. You need people and connections around you so that you can ask questions, everything from clinical questions through to personal questions, questions about work-life balance, questions about navigating teams and relationships. And there's really no substitute. There's no online substitute for having people around you who will really help to make you the best speech and language therapist that you can be. So head on over to the RCSLT website, check out everything that's available, go and join some groups, right away, as soon as you start looking at new jobs, as soon as you start looking at new areas, new clinical areas, new geographic areas, new areas of interest, and go and see who you can meet and see how you might be able to make those connections. I hope you have a fabulous student day, and you can always get in touch if you have any questions at all. Thank you.